means you got to get rid of Aaron Rodgers.
It is officially official. The Jets are moving on from Aaron Rodgers.
This guy's been nothing but an A1 headache.
Aaron Rodgers comes with a lot of baggage.
It's the media appearances. It's the things that come out of his mouth.
He's not in any rush to make a decision, wants to take some time.
It's so much fun to put him on whatever your favorite team is and think that it can work.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are waiting on an answer.
Aaron Rodgers is aware of the Vikings situation.
He's played good football over the last 2 months, and someone's going to want a winning football-playing quarterback.
These days, it seems like everyone has a podcast and everybody around pro football has an opinion about Aaron Rodgers and his next move. And Tuesday, those two things came together. On his podcast, former Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger speculated that Rodgers hasn't signed with Pittsburgh yet because he's holding out hope he can join the Vikings. Meanwhile, on his podcast, Raiders star Max Crosby predicted that Rodgers will retire, adding, "I just can't see him in a Pittsburgh uniform." Now, that's all speculation. And meanwhile, the man with the most invested in Rodgers joining the Steelers says he's just waiting, optimistically, for now.
I would say it was a good sign that he wanted to do that. And, we keep hearing that, he's, I guess, headed in our direction. And so that seems to be, all signs are positive so far. I mean, we keep getting, positive sort of signals about it. So, I'd say we feel pretty good about it.
Are you content to wait?
Well, not forever, but a little while longer.
He would be in a tough division in Pittsburgh, but he has had a successful career in limited opportunities against the AFC North. He's got the 5th best win percentage as a starting quarterback against the division over the last 25 years. Rodgers would be the second quarterback to start for a team he previously beat in the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson with the Broncos is the other. Jerry Jones says he has an agreement with Micah Parsons on the length of his next contract, the guaranteed money and the total amount, but there's no contract yet. Jones says he met with Parsons for about 5 or 6 hours and said their direct communication is most important. But Parsons has said he's not doing anything without agent David Mulligita involved. Here's Jones.
The agent is not a factor here of something to worry about. And I don't know his name. And so my point is that I'm not trying to demean him in any way, but this isn't about an agent. I'm the one who has to sign the check, and Michael's the one that has to agree to it. So that's the straightest way to get there is the one writing the check and the one agreeing to it talking.
Due respect and then immediate disrespect. Mac, we know Jerry serves as both judge and jury, but it seems like nothing gets done these days without undue friction in Dallas. What do you make of Jerry trying to box out an agent here?
It's another day in the life of the Cowboys. You talk about being the ultimate soap opera in the NFL. I grew up with my grandma, and we used to watch CBS daily. And one of her favorite soap operas, it was Young and the Restless and God in Light. And I became a fan of Young and the Restless and God in Light. And the thing that I love about those two soap operas, there was always drama. Always drama. Verbal drama, sometimes physical drama, but it was going to be some drama that made you want to watch the next episode. And that's what we're seeing from Jerry Jones. The agent is relevant. It is. If that player has an agent representing him. And for Jerry to not acknowledge the agent and how relevant he is, that is a problem. Because you can say whatever you want to say about the personal one-on-one conversations you've had with your star player in Micah Parsons. Nothing will get done, contractually speaking, without the agent reviewing the language of the contract, reviewing the terms, and then he will tell his client, who he is representing, yes, we got a deal. That's why Micah Parsons is paying him to do a job. So Jerry just making it seem like, nah, that ain't a big deal. It is. And Jerry has been in the game far too long to not know this, to not understand this. You can't go ahead and try to make a neighborhood contract with Micah Parsons and, hey, man, let's go ahead and agree to this. No, he's going to, let me see the paperwork. Let me see the documents. Let's send it over to my guy. That's how it works. That's how it worked for his first contract. So why would Jerry Jones think otherwise, Joe? Remember, they negotiated with Parsons' agent during his rookie contract. I understand the rookie pay scale is slotted, but you still had to talk with the agent. So Hey, A Day in the Life. Dallas used to be a TV series back in the day. They got the ultimate soap opera, depending on which one you grew up watching. Like I said, I was a Young and the Restless and a God and Light fan. They're going to give you some drama. And once again, Jerry provided the drama for all of us.
Yeah, when you're trying to take steps closer together to get the deal done, it felt like a step taken apart here on Tuesday. I will add The Young and the Restless in its 52nd season on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Bryant McFadden, thank you as always.
Great plug, Joe.
All right, here's a look at your highest paid non-quarterbacks. A commitment likely to be made to Micah Parsons in the not too distant future. Parsons going to find himself at the top, if not in the neighborhood of those highest paid non-quarterbacks. The contemporaries in both wide receivers and edges, with the lone departure, a defensive tackle and Chris Jones making 31.8, but it's 40+ for Parsons.
Meanwhile, 49ers team president Jed York said his team made the decision to re-sign Brock Purdy midway through last season. They consider Purdy a top 10 quarterback and expect to have to pay him as such after this season. So they've been watching their finances, and as a result, the 49ers have traded, released, or lost 17 players this season. York explained the approach.
Look, I get it. Like, fans care, right? Like, you want to win, and when you're in a world where everybody is watching the NFL the first week of free agency, or at least the first 3 days of free agency, it's a frenzy. And when you're not overly active in that space, it gets easy to say, you don't want to win. I think we have, a handful of Pro Bowlers and potentially even better players on our roster still. Like, we still have a pretty good roster. I don't know that as we looked at the board that there was somebody that we felt made that type of an impact more so than making the decision to try to go pay Brock.
Meanwhile, in Dallas,
for more on this matter and others, we say hello to Bryant McFadden. Mac, I'm putting you on the spot here. Purdy is the what number quarterback in the league in your eyes?
What number quarterback in the league? He is top 15.
I've got him at 14 in my personal rankings. I only offer that to ask you this because we've got a lot of guys making 50+ now on an average annual value. Of the 5 making 55+, one won a playoff game last year, Josh Allen. How much pressure is there going to be on Purdy to play to his contract after all that the Niners have sacrificed to get something done?
There's always pressure when you talk about receiving a potential record-breaking deal or being anywhere in the neighborhood of high players at your position. There's always pressure. But for Brock Purdy, he can care less about those concerns. He wants an opportunity to receive what he is deserving of receiving. And fans have talked about this potential contract off and on throughout the entire offseason. And the first thing they say, well, Brock Purdy is more of a product of what is surrounding him. Okay. And if that's the case, he's done everything he's supposed to do. But if you look at Brock Purdy, he has outkicked the coverage compared to the other guys that had the position before he became the starting quarterback. And because of the success of Brock Purdy, keeping everything in coordinates, they've won ball games, they've been relevant. People don't talk about the Trey Lance trade, right? People don't talk about that because of Brock Purdy. People don't talk about paying Jimmy Garoppolo. No, those were